Alright, sir, let's go.
Welcome back to The Finer Details, the show where we go around the maps of Hitman 3 and work out what the developers put here and why they put them there. Today we're in Marrakesh to look at both the daytime and nighttime versions of the map.
That's right, sir.
So with that said, let's get going. Starting with the daytime version of Marrakesh, outside the school there is this APC turret where there is a camera also there. This camera actually, unlike all of the others on the maps, are in real time, so I threw a wrench and as you can see, both in the background and on the screen, the guard has moved away to go and retrieve the wrench. And then in a second you'll see him come back into view when he's picked up the wrench. It's very interesting to see how they've done this actually.
Oh shit.
Moving into the school, there is a fairly big Easter egg you can do where when dressed as a Red Beret you can tell soldiers to go off duty. If you tell them all to, there is this radio that appears on the desk. If you activate the radio, it'll start to play music, and then if you activate the tannoy here, it'll start to broadcast music all over the school. What this does is cause every single guard, both on duty and off duty, to start dancing like so. And this effect happens for all the guards you've told to go off duty as well as the ones standing around the complex still. Enforcers will still notice you in the disguise, so it's best to steer clear. And if we go outside to where the soldiers go when they're off duty, you'll see them all there, and very shortly afterwards, Zaydan will also appear. Zaydan will still be an enforcer however, but you can also kill him there if needed. So I'm just going to cut now to where Zaydan appears, and you'll see that he is dancing on the stand in the middle of the crowd. What a fun thing to do. Heading back into the school, there is this dot-to-dot puzzle spread around the school on the walls. Here's how it looks filled in. It looks a bit like a Goomba with the hand looking a bit like a foot. We also have on one of the tables a map from above of Marrakesh. You can tell it's that because that's the consulate part there, which I've already put a ring around. We've got the school bit over there, which matches where it would be on the mini-map as well, and the other bit on the bit that's noticeable is the Shisha Cafe, which is circled at the top. There's also a picture of the outside of the consulate on the right. Another thing that's quite noticeable when going around the school grounds is that there's quite a lot of French writing written around on the walls, whether it be the alphabet on the sides or the different colours in French. One of the main reasons of this is because in Morocco, where Marrakesh is based, around 1/3 of the population actually does speak French, which is the second most common right after Arabic. On the topic of the French language, around the school there are also a couple of instances where this handwritten note appears in French. I've put this into Google Translate, first paragraph, and it comes out as follows. Glad to hear that a friend had the little gingerbread man was going to answer a farmer's dog's interrupted news stream where the reg had come from Engrity muzzle at the sight of the gingerbread man, the dog says. Obviously from how it reads it definitely isn't accurate, but it's definitely not as interesting as I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be some cool little joke, but no, it's just a story of a gingerbread man. Also on the blackboards in one of the schools, you have a very accurately put Pythagoras' theorem, which is the theory to work out the length of the side of a triangle. It's very interesting though how in one part of the school you've got dot-to-dot puzzles and alphabet, but the other part you've got quite complex mathematics. And finally for the school you've got something quite interesting with the peepholes around the map. Obviously there you can see through the peephole and you've got the view of the peephole from this side. However, when you go to the other side of where the peephole you would be looking through, it actually doesn't appear, like it's just a plain wall. Not sure how this works realistically, but it's very interesting that it just works like that.
Hey you don't have a clearance.
Moving on to the consulate part of the building, most of this is returning assets from previous maps. You've got the binary boxes from Sapienza. The map on the table is the same map used in the ICA facility, and you've also got Le Grand Chateau books returning from Paris as well. Moving into the security room, we've got another case of cameras not matching what they actually do in the game, which is a shame knowing how the turret camera works. In a downstairs foyer of the consulate, there is this gentleman in the corner who is working on a chair, who has quite an interesting discussion with himself about construction. I'll let this play out.
Smaller screws. 5. Can that be right? That's what it says. Okay, what else? 8 plastic, knobs, I guess you would call them. What the hell are those for? It's just a chair. Oh well, I'm sure naked silhouette guy will walk me through it. There he is. So, on to assembly, right. Okay. Naked guy is... What is he doing? Has he got stomach cramps, or what is he... Oh, wait, okay, I get it. He doesn't get the instructions. And judging from his smile, he is extremely excited about calling the support line. Weirdly excited. Well, I'm sure I can manage. Thank you very much, naked silhouette guy. So, what's next here? Wait, what the hell? What is this? The Large Hadron Collider? What is this? It's a frickin' chair. What the hell is that Z-shaped thing and the little wheel that moves in a counterclockwise... Okay, screw this. You let me down, naked silhouette guy.
Obviously this is a joke for IKEA. Next up we have the Masseur, who has quite an interesting ID badge. Being in a consulate, you'd expect to be consulate brand. However, some of the details on his badge include Human Rights Press Club, and the address he has there brings out India. Whether this is foreshadowing to Mumbai or not, we don't know. One of the other things that's quite obvious around the map is the amount of mooses and moose references there are. That's because Sweden has the biggest population of mooses in the world. And being the Swedish consulate, this makes sense. And finally for the consulate, we have a couple of interesting visual things going on. We have a soap dispenser, which isn't reflected in the mirror, and also a story being told at post-it notes. The top post-it note saying Julian add details below, pointing below, and the post-it note below saying above is the ceiling, pointing up towards the first post-it note. Moving on to the Shisha Cafe area, there are some bottles of drink behind the bar which are references to previous maps. So we've got the Chateau bottles of champagne from Sapienza in Paris, there's the vodka bottles from the Escalations and the ICA facility, and in the fridge there's also Dr. Pop, which can be found across various maps as well. In the headmaster's building there's a hat hung up for the Musée EMT, which is from Paris. In the sky there is a Pegasus helicopter, which Pegasus obviously being the winged horse from mythology, which makes sense. In the shoe shop there is a brand of shoe called GTX. GTX is often an abbreviation for Gore-Tex, which is waterproof membrane, often used in footwear for hiking. And in the underground tunnel, the generator on the wall is Ether branded, being the Ether Corporation from Sapienza. In the technology alleyway there is a tablet which has the name Red Ocean on it, Red Ocean being a 2007 FPS game and also the name of a business strategy, business making sense with Klaus Hugo Strandberg being a banker. And once again, Sapienza returns on the computer screens in the tech alley as well. And the final couple of bits come from the night version of Marrakesh. Not much has changed with the map as a whole, however there are posters put up now for the fortune teller, which is located in a closet before. However, the arrow sometimes isn't pointing in the right direction to where it is. There is also a post-it note for a start of mission stories mentioning carpets, which actually has the text on there. And that's all we've got for this episode of the finer details from Marrakesh. There did used to be an old Easter egg where you could make a moose fall from the sky. However, that was removed with Hitman 2 and 3, apparently because of technological limitations, according to developers. It's also a shame they didn't change more with the night version of Marrakesh, because it's all a lot the same from the day version. That's all we've got to say. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. And hey, before you go, you can enjoy a third person camera at 47. Don't know what I did to bug the game out, but I did something.